Hello. Hello on the bus, Masters. And hi, Betty. Hello, everybody. Ads should be done, so let's get rolling. It is dark in my office, I just realized. Well, hopefully I redirected more lights towards the entire desk situation, so maybe that's why I don't have as much hitting the face anymore. Well, how's everybody doing? It is certainly a time. Hope my connection stays good. Yeah, I mean, I've watched my fair share of Twitch streams from the Rapid before. Although that's more often been early morning for me type stuff on my way to like my co-working space. I'll watch like Chris or Jay from Prototypist sometimes if they're streaming in the morning Eastern time. Hello, Elquan. Welcome everybody. So today's board is one of the client boards that we kind of sorted through a couple streams ago. Also the only one that included a hot swap plate or a hot swap PCB. And so that's why I wanted to go ahead and build it for a couple of reasons. I finally got an integral part of my soldering setup today. And so I haven't been able to do any more practicing of soldering. And I also got the new SWG Keys double shot ABS keycaps, the new SWG Beige. And I really wanted to try it out. And I think that silver frog TKL that we looked at would be a really good candidate for it. So that's my plan. And also the mentioned final piece of the puzzle was actually the more compact fume extractor that I had been trying to get my hands on. So thank goodness for that finally. That's kind of the last piece of the puzzle. So we'll be having some soldering streams very shortly, which is exciting. The old Kodo or Kato. Yeah, I got this one off eBay, which was nicer than giving Amazon any money. Can't be a keeper streamer without the Kato. I mean, excuse me. I looked at a lot of other fume extraction options, and a lot of them were a lot bulkier, or a lot more expensive, or both. And I see why streamers have gone for this one, because if you're working in the compact area of a desk, I mean, if you were on in a workbench in your garage or something, that'd be a different story. But when you have like this much real estate and you want to, keep it close, and you can't have like a giant bulky one with a hose, or you can't be like running a line outside or something like that, Yeah, they're either too big or too expensive. Most of them are just ugly. Exactly. Like there's like if I didn't care about aesthetics, I wouldn't be in the keyboard hobby, right? Because I care about look and feel and all this kind of stuff. Oh, that yellow key rules. Hello, Evan. Welcome. Shout out to Evan. Oh, good. It did fire off. Good. Hello, Naveed. Thank you. I was glad I was able to catch one of your streams yesterday. That was really fun. Not for super long, but I was glad to be able to pop in. There have been granted, I don't know this for sure. I feel like there have been some fun, like a larger burgeoning of a groundswell of keyboard streaming recently with folks, which has been cool to see. Because like for a long time, I feel like I heard, that the hobby was dying and keyboard streaming was dying. And then I was coming in last summer at kind of a weird time. And now I feel like, I don't know, I feel like it's ramped up a little bit, and there's been some fresh faces and people kind of getting into it, and it's cool. You remember when I told you this? Yeah. Yep. I heard that too from people that things were slowing down, but I don't know if I buy that. Yeah, exactly. Like maybe the people they talk to or their little niche or something, it felt that way or something. It's definitely changed. The hobby's definitely changed and evolved, but I wouldn't say it's dying. I say that as someone who's only been more seriously in the hobby for like, I don't know, 4 years at this point. So I'm not like an old head or anything, but. Oh, are you talking about football when you were talking about United? I get it. The correct football, not American football. No, you're good. There you go. What's my history in the hobby? How long have I been around? I, like many, got into keyboards around COVID time. And that was mainly because, it's not just because I started working from home. I've worked from home, or I've worked remotely for 11 years now, since 2015. So for a long time, I had one of those old, like, AA powered Apple Bluetooth keyboards. Oh, excuse me. I shouldn't have had a beer right before this. One of those little Apple Bluetooth keyboards. And it eventually reached the point where it was a battery hog. And so I could have, bought a rechargeable one. But also 2 of the keys broke, and there's nothing you can do about that. So there was a designer friend of mine named Joey Banks who designed himself a keycap set on WASD at the time, I think it was, and had it on, I think it was a Tofu. And so that's why I was like, I want that. That is rad. And so I went and got myself a Tofu 65. Because I really like, granted that one was soldered, because I didn't understand the whole modularity aspect of it yet, but I liked the customizability of the keycaps and that whole thing. So I got a soldered Tofu 65 acrylic case with unlubed Cherry MX Browns. Tale as old as time, right? And then eventually one of the stabilizers inside broke and I couldn't take it apart because it was soldered. And so that's kind of started the journey of expanding my keyboard literacy a bit. But I've technically only been around the hobby for 3 years and okay. Should have just bought a Logitech and saved your wallet. Well, now I'm like the keyboard evangelist at my co-working space. And I'm like, I've already gotten a couple people in on the hobby. They've built their own. I've helped them out. I've done some commissions, some commissioned builds for them. I'm like I'm always bringing different boards in to be like trying to catch people's eye and get them interested. I've run a couple keyboard events at my co-working space to like show off the collection. People can start understanding some of the terms and all that kind of stuff. So do I still have that first Tofu? I do. It is in my closet. Somewhere. Buried. So there's still a bunch of browns in it. Yeah, but now I have actual desoldering tools, so I might take them out. But electric gloves in the first place. Oh, I'm sorry, man. That sucks. Hopefully not any gloves that were too near and dear to you. I have slowly converted my classmates into liking keyboards. Nice. Yeah, it's fun. I've got one of my co-working space chums now on the hunt for an HHKB layout. He tried out and borrowed my HHKB thermal for a while and really liked the layout and has been trying to find something with a lower front height and some other interesting things. So I've been turning him on to other stuff like the Agar, which I don't know about the front height exactly, but it has, the dipped corners and all this kind of stuff. So it's a little nicer on the hands and the wrists potentially, but I'm not trying to help him figure out exactly what he might want. What's the story behind today's build? New keyboard or just trying out Beige? It's mostly to try out Beige. I also have a Frog TKL from a client among a set of boards that I have for a client. And he's totally okay with me just kind of futzing around with it. Since most of the boards he's provided me with are solder and I am in the process of learning to solder. So I will be practicing on some other projects coming up, including a Skelet 60 and some other stuff for myself before I come back to his boards to do them correctly. So in this case, this is the only board of his that came with a hot swap PCB. So we're going to be building that and checking out Beige at the same time since that just came in yesterday. Been very torn on Beige, debating whether I should get a set or not. Yeah. The price point, and from what others had said, it was kind of a shoe-in for me. I love Beige anyway. And I really wanted to see how their double shot ABS offering stacks up against, you know, Kikobo or GMK. And just kind of get a feel for it. I brought your Matrix to class one day. One of my classes really liked it. No, that's fun. But yeah, let's dig in. I'll need to think about if I have enough stabilizers handy, because this is not just a Frog TKL. This is a different layout than you might expect. I was going to get a set as a beater set for my school board, but Kiba doesn't have the tulip and unpack yet. Really? Interesting. As you can see from the PCB, whee! Yes, indeed. Very cool. So I am glad that I got the numpad kit so that we can actually fill out this side of the board. I realized when I was like double looking at this again this morning, I was like, oh wait, yeah, this is a little different. So let's get out the rest of our hardware. So we won't need the other PCBs. Don't know about foam or anything yet. We've got, I think he only included the one plate, which is aluminum. Feet. This is a different set of feet, which I will not use today. And then I believe we've got our screws and 80A tadpoles. So. Is it 8K? Hold on. Need to change one thing I'm seeing here. There we go. So yes, those who are guessing 8K, it is 8K. So, got all our bits and bobs. Let's set this aside. So yes, also, as mentioned in the stream ping, this is my first time building a Geon board, which is pretty exciting. Let me grab just some throwaway scrappies here for doing some lube on. Hello, Frederick. Welcome, welcome. Hope you had a good day. Night stabs, of course. And let's think what we are using here. Oh, we have an AK coming, Alquan. Very nice. Have you tried the new wave of light HMX tactiles? I have tried a couple, I believe. I know I've used the, what is it, the K01 light tactiles. I have used Retro J's. Let me look at my list. What other ones have I tried recently? Bleeds. Just those three, really, at this point. I've also got the new HMX Volume Zeros, which are silent tactiles, but with the spring weight, they might be considered light. Got the AK for such a deal, it's a little scuffed. It was 100 Canadian. That is a steal. Holy cow! And plus, you could always, you could always get it re-anode or something, right? If it's too distracting. All right, so we are working with a 6.25 Not a 7. Let me check one more thing. Ooh, excuse me. All right. The Rihanna would cost more than the board. That's fair. I'm using it for school anyway, so it'll get banged up. What what a board to have for a school beater board. All right, so we'll need left shift. We will need the space bar. We will need... No, I could split, couldn't I? Yeah, we'll leave it as is. We'll do full backspace and we'll do full right shift. I like how flexible, not literally, but how flexible the hot swap PCB for this is. Cool. All right. And if you've been tuning into Apiary's marathon stream today, we got on the Twitch front page, which is pretty rad. Been tuning in as much as I've been able during work today. It's very fun. But I imagine very stressful. She's been doing a fantastic job. But I would die, I think, if I were streaming for 8 hours straight. That is wild. I would have to have a big backlog of content ready for that. You really like the Space 65? I'm sure I'll warm back up to 65s at some point. I mean, I hope I do. I've got 2 on the way. Oh, your current school boards are the Space 65 and PC over 65. Nice. Yeah, 65 I think would be a really good layout for school stuff. Ever since I started using mod taps on my 60s, I've been less enthralled by 65s as a layout. It's your foamy boy. I think the keyboard I've had to foam up the most of my current collection is my Duo 60, actually, from Lazy Designers. Which it sounds really good with all the foams in. It was just like way more resonant than I expected at first blush. Manta soon, exactly. Yeah, I've got Event Horizon and the Manta on the way. So I think I'm going to relearn my love of 65s. Hello, Reggie. Hello, hello. How's Apiary doing? Have you been in there? I know you were in there earlier. I just wondered if you checked in. I forgot. Oh, did you get a Polar Naveed? I gotta say, they're pretty damn good. Not nice to call the designers lazy. Listen, I am not calling them anything they wouldn't call themselves. As a fellow lazy, we have to have lazy solidarity. Thought you won one during Sterling's stream. I also won some stuff during Sterling's stream and have not seen hide nor hair of it. Hello, Shark. Welcome, welcome. You didn't forget me, but it would seem I have forgotten you. Awkward. How am I doing? I'm doing pretty well, all things considered. How about you? Staying warm or cold, depending on whatever your current climate needs. We actually had some sunshine today, which was amazing. We have we replaced our roof with a metal roof a couple of years ago. And so it heats up differently when the sun is out because any exposed bits that the sun hits, it will like propagate throughout the roof. And so then we'll just get entire sheets of snow that all fall off at once, which is wild to see. It kind of sounds like the house is falling down a little bit, but it is cool to see because it'll just suddenly like warm enough that it like loosens the whole sheet, just goes. No, you're just getting nervous much. I'll leave this on while homework with the kiddos and whatnot. I'm still alive when I was like, oh, great. I appreciate the juice in the numbers a little bit. Do you know I just got back from the doctor's office, hit my foot a few weeks ago. Oh, I'm sorry about that. That's probably scary the first time. Yeah, a little bit. We weren't sure exactly what was happening. It was like, you know, it was that first winter after we'd gotten the roof. And so we were like, what did we do? Hold on, let me start this over. And living in West Michigan, we get a lot of snow. A lot of snow off the lake. What is this? This is a piece of popcorn that I think hitched a ride on this paper towel. But anyway, speaking of Reggie's fine work, these are two of his that I picked up at the Novel Keys meetup this year, which are just gorgeous. Like I love, this is snakewood, and I love, I don't know if that's going to show up super well. Nope. You can see a little bit of the edge light there. But the spalting on this one is especially my favorite. It's so good. NK Meetup is when I first encountered his work. Yeah. They are delightful. All right. Get into the old grease here. So I take it you were at the meetup, Naveed? What boards did you bring? I may have taken pictures of them. Oh, you're in Montreal, you saw pictures. Oh man, I want to visit Montreal. Granted, this is mostly from videos I've seen about public transit. Because I've love city infrastructure and public transit, and there's a YouTube channel I like called, was it Not Just Bikes or More Than Just Bikes? I should know this if I actually like it that much. And he's talked about the transit system in Montreal and how it feels like one of the most European places in North America, which is appealing to me. Montreal's fun to visit in the summer. Public transit is good here. Yeah. I'd love to visit. Montreal rocks. Let's go! Field trip. I mean, Masters and I are already going to be in Chicago for a keyboard event this summer. Hopefully. Once tickets go up for KeyCon. Yeah, last time I was in Canada was... I used to go to Canada all the time because I used to work for a Canadian design company in British Columbia. Worked there for 7 years. So I went to Canada a lot. But the last time I went to Canada was in January of last year. Which was actually just passing through Canada in order to get to Buffalo, New York. So drove straight across Michigan, through Ontario, and then out the other side, all in one day. Hello, Frank. Welcome, welcome. Can you believe it, Frank? This is my first Geon board. I know this is to someone as well seasoned yourself in all things Geon. This is the first time I'm building a Geon board. So welcome. It's good to have you here. Can you get some Geon energy off of you? Oh, KeyCon's the week of your birthday. That's awesome. We'll have to celebrate. All right. So we get that. Let me get the screws out into something handy. Put these aside. Only time I went to Montreal was when my band was on tour ages ago, so I wasn't there long, but it was such a fun stop. Nice. That's always nice when a city can give you like a really good impression really fast. My first time watching this keyboard build. I mean, it is live, so that makes sense. No, I know what you mean, Frederick. But like seeing this particular kind of Geon board. This is my first time handling an 8K, like a TKL 8K. Oh, there's a little hair floating in there. Screws might be good, or a screwdriver, right? You also have a Frog TKL silver. Nice. Yeah, this one's from a client who picked this up as well as a really nice red Frog Mini that I'll also be building at some point. What is a Geon board? Geon is a keyboard maker in Korea. Definitely worth checking out the website. Whoops. Oh, man. Fly away. Yes, Korean designer. Really want a Frog Mini, hard to find. Yeah, I don't know how long my client has actually... It was in a closet for a while. He got it a long time ago. And I'm not sure how long he's been holding on to it. There we go. Hill Kwan has been all over Canadian Mac market trying to find one. A few pop up. They only want Win Key, same as you. Yeah, Frank can hook you up. Oh, in Canada. Okay, never mind. It is a bit of a challenge these days, isn't it? is going on there? Oh, wrong holes. I was like, what the? Was trying to match up. Oh no, I need another 2U. What am I doing? Foolish. I totally forgot about the enter key. I got ahead of myself. Got too excited. Any of you thinking about the Glare TKL round 2? I honestly hadn't considered it, but I am in the market for some new TKLs because I'm getting rid of the other ones that I have, which are an original Mode 80 and a revised Mode 80. Well, I guess okay, technically, I just don't use the original Mode 80. I'm not going to get rid of it because it's a special... It got a custom engraving and anodization from my job, and that is pretty special, but I don't honestly use it. And I also don't use the white one either, the other Mode 80. Like the F1 more than the Glare, to be honest. Yeah, I'm thinking about getting it. After trying out Masters F1, I am inclined to go that route. If and when I can. Yeah. You got me. Alright, let's get this other one shored up. Woo. It may, oh, I guess it would help if I put that one in, huh? I don't have an extensive list of boards I'm waiting on right now, or like looking forward to. I am looking forward to both Panji Mini Round 1 Extras and the Panji Mini Round 2, which is supposed to potentially be in stock in March. Like an in-stock thing. So I think I'm saving some money for that. Masters also is planning on that. I think that orange one looks too good. And would look really good with DCS orange on beige. Speaking of bowl stuff. After Pangea Mini, I really only have the gradient, but that'll depend on how much money I have when the gradient drops. Oh, speaking of like JW stuff, I might want to get in on the derivative round 2 as well. It's just there's a lot to keep in mind. I've started keeping a second spreadsheet of boards I might want to buy. I already have a spreadsheet of what I have and like the current state of builds and all that kind of stuff. But I've started keeping like another like mini calendar spreadsheet of like stuff that's upcoming. Come on now. Stay seated. I do like screw-in stabs a lot. I don't like the screws. I generally prefer them to clip in unless I have to use clip in. But then I look like a complete idiot chasing screws and washers around. So we'll just do it this way. Mango! Welcome, welcome. How you doing? I have a wish list too. I'm retired. Oh, you're retired? Are you out of the hobby, Okwan? Or are you retired from something else? Or just retired from buying new boards? So rare for me to catch a Jabrona stream. Well, I also haven't been streaming as much this year, but that's true. I mean, like for months last year, I was streaming every week. And it's been more of an every other week situation so far. Because, you know, work has ramped up in different ways. I didn't have quite as much of a backlog of projects to work on keyboard-wise. And, you know, it's been a little hard to concentrate on things in general with the state of the United States and everything, which has been a little damaging for the old mental health. You retired from new boards. Okay, well, I mean, that's good. That's a good limitation to put on yourself, and it's also smart, financially speaking. El Kwan hates keyboards, confirmed. Time difference makes it even harder. That's very true. Because you're in Germany, is that right, Mango? A lot of times I wake up with my inbox full of live notifications. I'm like, yeah, it's the same like when I wake up and like Chris is already streaming or Jay is already streaming. And I'm like, oh, and I'll like be like brushing my teeth and making breakfast and like, put the stream on. A little damaging. A lot damaging, let's say. I wanted to try to tone it down a little bit, but it's been almost impossible for my mind to think about anything else. They have to be very special now. Yeah, it's nice when you get to that point of knowing a lot more what you like, what you want out of the hobby, being a lot more picky. Hello, Chris. You have to come out of lurkdom. Yes. Well, when anybody that is really cool makes themselves known in the chat, they get a shout out automatically. So there's no more lurking. Everybody go follow all of these great streamers. Follow Naveed, follow Frank, follow Chris, follow Mango, follow Evan. You will not regret it if you are not already tuning in. Guess I'm not cool. Do you stream, Elkwan? Do I know? Do you stream? Bro, do you even stream? I should have prefaced that. Streamers. When I have things to do, well, here, I'll give you a follow. Boink. Done. I'll add you into the system. Used to stream all the time. Yeah, that's often the way of it. Things get in the way. Do you mostly stream boards, or do you work on other things? Do you play games, build Lego? Hello to all the cool people in chat and Jabros too. Yes. All the cool people, and also Jabronis is here. I see how it is, Chris. Games got boring, keyboards stopped coming in school. Oh, sure. School, that is a huge commitment. That is huge. I feel like I had very few hobbies when I was in school. Here we go. Hello, Lazarus. Hello, hello. Yes, a Frog 8K. All right. let me think. I think I want to go no foams or anything and just see how it goes. Since I'm new to Geon boards, I just want to see how it kind of sounds without any of that. We've got an alu plate. Let's go ahead and get that out of there. Should be okay with no foam. I figured. Lovely, lovely. Hello, Connie. Welcome. Thank you for the follow. However, I've seen great result with just case foams like me after that. Okay, good to know. Thank you. I appreciate it. Now I've got... I realized after I was like, oh wait, this wasn't just a standard TKL layout that I was expecting. I may need to rethink my switch choices because I'll need more switches over here. Or at least, you know, an additional 5. So I have a couple options that fit the build. Weren't already another build, but I have the count. Build without, then throw in the case foam if you want. Yeah. I've got some granites. And then I've also got a shit ton of Obscuras, which I feel like should sound good. Obscuras always sound good on alu. So I might do one of those. Does anyone have any strong opinions? I actually haven't used these in a very long time. And last time I did it was in a much softer build and realized that they need a more resilient plate to sound a little bit better. Obscuras. I do have a lot of them. I think they might sound really, really good. What the? Sorry, wrong button. I moved it to my over-the-shoulder scene, which does not exist. Now for Obscuras, very good. Because I know I won't run out. So many freaking Obscuras. Alright, let me check some of these stabs first. Hold up. Let's get this out of here. Prop this up in the middle. Oh, I can tell that's already going to sound good. So let me grab some of these SWG Keys keycaps here to test the stabs. We can also take a look at this while we do. Did I get DCS UFO? I did. I bought every kit. And 2 of the novelties. Just because then I can get pretty much 2 boards of coverage, I think, with the alt alphas and everything too. So I did get DCS UFO. It's been a very DCS week for me because I got orange on beige and I also bought UFO. Been thinking about getting granites or GAT sages maybe to try something new. But also might get more cherries. Let's be honest, you're gonna get more cherries. Who are we kidding? Here it is. I gotta say, this is very very Keycaps packaging, I feel like, for these keycaps. But I really like how compact these trays are for beige. There they are. The curative containers are so nice. Yeah. And I don't know how well this is going to show up because it's kind of dark up here near the camera. But, come on. Focus, baby. It really does not care what is in my hand right now. Maybe if I block. But the legending is pretty good. I would say it's very sharp. I would not say that it is 100%, like in terms of some of the type legibility. It's not like at 100% GMK level in terms of the legend quality, but it is pretty close. I still only have 72 Nixies. I might get another batch. If Bull puts up more unlubed ones. I think he said he was going to, yeah. Because I think Apiary was building with a bunch in the Bower Light. Or not the Bower Light, one of the boards she was working on today, and... Or maybe, no, wait, maybe that was Omnitype that said it in the chat. I can't remember. I don't think Bull was in there, actually. Asume is my favorite keycap packaging, to be honest. It's a nice, almost square box. That is nice. I've seen some of their keycaps on streams. I don't have any, but... PBT Fans is my favorite packaging. I do like their packaging. I wish I liked their keycaps. Sadly, I do not. Hello. Dope Beige goodness. Thanks for doing this stream. Super cathartic. Well, I appreciate you being here, Connie. That is the goal, is to try to just vibe out for a little bit. It's not just for others, it's for me too, because I've been stressed, as I think most people are. Hold on, let me pause this for a sec so I can actually hear the stabs. Huzzah! We are in business. Now I gotta ask, Connie, did you come from Blue Sky? Did the live badge thing work? This is my first time trying it out with the live integration on Blue Sky. I think the process behind the tulip kit is what I like about Swag Keys. Doesn't have that raised UV print texture. Yeah, that's really cool because they like UV or not UV print. They like, excuse me, because they print onto the double shot layer underneath, right? Yes, it worked coming from Blue Sky. Very cool. Yeah, I got the tulip kit as well. I'd like to use that. I'll just have to look up exactly where it goes in the board, but I do want to use that too. Yeah, that's really cool because I think, was it Curative that kind of spearheaded that tech in the first place, I feel like, of dye subbing the double shot layer. But it goes on the switches. Thank you, Alquan. You're very helpful. I didn't know where they went. Thought they go in the garbage. I must have hit the big time on Twitch because people are sassing me. All right, let's put in the rest of these switches. I do want this back in here just to hold the plate up. I sass everyone I like. Aw, I'm honored. Let's bring these over a little bit closer. I bought so many Obscuras through the years. I just keep coming back to them. They're really solid linear. Really dig him. I wonder if Mode is going to be doing anything new with their switching keycap offerings now that Matthew is there doing more stuff. I'm really curious because they haven't offered any new keycaps and switches since the Lotus series, I think. If you see me in a stream and I don't say one sassy thing, then I don't like it. Good to know. I will bear that in mind. All right, we'll do this in the old diagonal stripe pattern here. Actually, let me set this aside just so no errant bits get on it and scratch it or something. I already dropped a streaming light in my office earlier today and cracked the screen of my daughter's digital camera, so I don't need any more accidents in here. Are you invested in Hammerhead or Zooted reruns? I voted for Hammerhead in this latest round. I voted for Diner before that because I like Tim's work. Or Max Voltar, and never got in on the first round of it. It'd be fun to see what he would change about it for an R2, but Hammerhead light is nice, yeah. And I just don't need a green set, so I didn't vote for Zooted. Is that all for that album? Let's move on to their upcoming album, which I've been listening to this almost nonstop. The singles they have available, at least. This is a band called Forager from Brooklyn. Ever since they did their NPR Tiny Desk concert. I wish I would have met you before I sold my diner. You owned a diner? Yeah, was it Matchbox Diner here in town? I was trying to think of another place that had diner in the name. What's your favorite song by them? It is probably Leave a Little to the Imagination, which is just a single right now. It's off their album that'll be coming out pretty soon. The album is called Even a Child Can Cover the Sun with a Finger. It's a bit of a mouthful, but I think that's actually a lyric from this track, which is called Double Dutch. But I've been enjoying them a lot. Very chill. Also a lot of songwriting complexity, like a lot of very interesting harmonic shifts, a lot of very interesting time signature shifts, tempo shifts. Like sometimes I want to listen to music that's very simple and straightforward, and it's just like eating a snack or like junk food a little bit and being like, ah, yeah, that hits the spot, background, whatever. Like Forager songs, I've really wanted to listen to because they make me stop and go like, no, wait a minute, what was that? Like it's a little bit more like eating musical vegetables in a way. Like it's like working, it's a little bit more of a workout. And like, that's really interesting to me. And for anyone who doesn't know, I think I may have only mentioned this on stream a handful of times ever. But I studied music in college. I got a Bachelor of Arts in Music History. And so I'm still very much interested in that and still use music theory and stuff fairly regularly. And so any music that I can listen to that like makes me have to pull out my music theory textbook from college a little bit, like, no, wait, what was that? Is fun. It's a good time. Get 2 eggs, sunny side up, hash browns, and salsa, please. Oh man, now you're gonna make me hungry. Jeez. Actually, speaking of that, and talking about the NK meetup earlier, there's a restaurant there in Morgantown called Table 9, where I had some of the best sausage and gravy, or biscuits and gravy ever. Highly recommend. Don't give me PTSD. I worked on a brunch line in the past. There's that music to read. Yeah, exactly. Musical veggies. Yeah. What happened to the other 7 tables? Well, I don't know because I said table 9, so there should be 8 other tables, right? Or maybe it's German. And it's basically like when you come in without a reservation, you say table. They say 9. No one cares about 8 though. They did when 7, 8, 9. Damn no. Listen, I am a dad. First, I am many things. I am a video game enthusiast. I am a cyclist. I am a graphic designer, a keyboard hobbyist. But first and foremost, I am a dad. And the dad jokes must flow. You can't bottle that kind of thing in. When will 6-8 get its time to shine? Oh yeah, that's right. 6-7, 6-9's got the time. Yeah, exactly. We've got Goofy Kid number. We've got the sex number. Poor 68. Yes, I do cycle Shark. Not as much as I used to. I used to do like century rides and stuff back when I lived in Kentucky, including the big one there is the Horsey 100. Did that a couple of times. Did a few other rides in the 80 to 100 mile range. Then I moved and I had a kid and I don't ride as much anymore, but I do ride when I can. When I do ride, there's a really great cycling trail near here that actually goes all the way from Grand Rapids, Michigan up to Cadillac. If you want to take that whole route. But my favorite pizza joint is also right off the trail. So I do like to ride to that. I like to ride, commute to my co-working space sometimes. Yeah, I like it a lot. Kind of hard to cycle for half the year, no such thing. I mean, yeah, that's true. It doesn't stop somebody or some people who have the gear and the fat tires and stuff. But also I don't trust car drivers most of the time anyway, much less in the winter, so I'm not going to ride my bike anywhere near them in the wintertime. That would do it. That's awesome. I cycled a lot in LA. Need to find routes there. Yeah, that sounds awesome. Where does a keyboard go for a drink? The space bar. Very good. I've definitely heard that for something about like an astronaut typist or something, but that is a good one. I'm sure my daughter would like that one too. She's at the age now where she's starting to try to formulate her own jokes a little bit and then be like, get it? And then tell you the punchline again with a big mug. It's very funny. What is the pizza joint? It is Eastern Kill Distillery in Rockford. I should say, for just like general pizza, it is my favorite. If I want Detroit style, it's Quarantino's. So it really depends on what I'm in the mood for, I guess. If I'm in the mood to go on a bike ride, I will ride to Eastern Kill because they can also get a really nice cocktail. And in the nicer months, they have a big outside area with fire pits and a whole bunch of stuff. And my kid can run around, which is great. I like to go there. I love their pizzas. They've got some really killer apps as well. All right. I've had their gin before. Yeah. They do. I've gotten a few of their spirits and other things before. They make a really good replacement for chartreuse, because green and yellow chartreuse can be kind of hard to get a hold of, or just really expensive, depending. And so they make their own genepi, which is really good if you're looking for that same kind of herbal botanical liqueur kind of vibe to put into something like a Last Word or some kind of drink that usually uses chartreuse. That's really good. They make an apple liqueur called Apple Flappin' that's really good. They have breakfast bourbon that they make right now that they serve at brunch. They make their own coffee liqueur, like all kinds of stuff. So yeah, another thing about me, I'm also big into cocktails. I really like making cocktails. And I actually got to try, this is kind of a tangent, but I've also been getting more into making more tropical tiki-ish things recently because my D&D group just started a new homebrew campaign set in the Nalanther Islands that are way off the Sword Coast. My partner is actually the one running it. And so, like, it's a lot of, like, very tropical piratey kind of vibes to it. So I've tried to make drinks themed to the D&D campaign that we're running. And so I've been getting a lot more into making stuff with, like, a lot more rum, a lot more fruit juices, blue curacao, coconut, or cream of coconut, like all that kind of stuff. Which has been very fun. Okay. Planter's Punch is my favorite cocktail. Let me look it up. What all goes into Planter's Punch? It sounds familiar. There it is. Oh, I did see this in my cocktail book the other day when I was looking at rum stuff. Rum, simple syrup, lime juice, grenadine, bitters. I could make this right now. Thank you. I'm going to save this recipe. That's perfect. I have all of this stuff. I actually just got some legit grenadine like last week. Like the actual pomegranate stuff, not just like sugar water. Awesome. Let's see. Did you ever have the Detroit style at No, I didn't. There was one time I went to the downtown market to get some, and they were sold out. And I've never been. I've go to Field and Fire or get Field and Fire bread a lot, but I have never gone to get pizza specifically since then. Did they start again? Oh. Something I'm in search of a second DD deal. Have you tried Japanese rum before? No, I've had Japanese whiskeys. And sake, of course. But I've not tried a Japanese rum. Interesting. I'll have to be on the lookout. Okay. We are all multifaceted people with many interests. I should get back to the keyboard. I've got less than an hour to finish this up, which, it shouldn't be tough. But just being cognizant of the time because I got to help with bedtime. So let's set this aside. Put the keycaps right on top for the moment. And let's dig in here. Let me get these other washers off. Your favorite Detroit style I've ever had. I think they started making the Bakehouse location. Oh, very cool. I went to the soft open thing of the Bakehouse. And they were making like breakfast sausage sandwiches with sausage from like Louise Earl. Oh my God. It was one of the best things I've ever eaten. I need to go back there. I haven't been there since then. All right. Oh man, this thing's heavy. There's just like so many giant chunks of metal in this. I love it. All right, let me see. That is a good one. I don't think these are magnetic screws. So we'll just loosen them up and then try not to lose them. Haven't been to the new one yet, but I feel bad. I worked there for 5 years. I'm scared. Oh, nice. I have to ask, was it a good experience? I mean, I guess you don't have to answer. You don't got to put anybody on blast. I'm just curious. That was actually one of the first places I visited when my partner and I were scoping out Grand Rapids. Mostly yes. I mean, it's like any job, right? There's always going to be good and bad. But yeah, that was one of the first places my partner and I scoped out in one of our pre-moving visit trips to Grand Rapids and got breakfast there and fell in love with it. Let's see, we got, how many did we get? Hey, 3 for 3. So big ones in the back. Yeah, I mean, any food prep, food service job is going to be tough. In a way. I have some limited experience with that. But. Lovely. All right. I also realized this is themed very well with my new mouse. I went in on the MX Master 4. The owners have good hearts outside of work, but sometimes working for them was a lot. No, I get that. I get it. All right, let's get our tadpoles. So these ones are just extra hardware, I guess. We don't actually need these. These are just extra case screws. So these are 80A tadpoles. The products are primo, though. They really know what they're doing. Yeah. Yeah, they were one of the places that we tried to make sure we were supporting as much as we could when the pandemic hit, which was really nice because, like, since we were eating at home a lot more, like, Field and Fire was doing a lot more stuff with, like, making to-go containers of, like, chicken salad and stuff like that. Like, prepping all this stuff and then, like, being able to take it home and make sandwiches and all that kind of stuff. It was really nice. All right, let's add some new tunes. We've been listening to Forager here. Oh, now my music app is freaking out. We got the Beach Ball of Death. Why? Don't you know I'm streaming? Oh, there we go. I just had to catch up. Let's do... There we go. Some Maya Folic never goes amiss. All right. Wait, this is not Mia Folic. What is this? Even my music player is being sassy to me. Is Elquan running my music player right now? It's a little sassy DJ. Oh, I do like this though. This is City Pop. Yeah, let's keep it. I don't know why it like jumped in line ahead of Maya Folic. All right, let's put in our tadpoles. What is this weirdo here? Yeah. I actually meant to get it loaded up ahead of time, but I forgot. There's a DJ that I really like named Bobby Ganoush. Oh, thank you for the follow. I really appreciate that. But there's a DJ named Bobby Ganoush who I think is in Seattle. And he does, you know, live DJ sets and stuff or in different things. And so there was a new YouTube video of one of his sets. And a lot of it is like funk and city pop and all that kind of good stuff. And I meant to queue it up for this and I forgot, but I'll save that for another stream. All right. Some spare tadpoles here. We'll take Frank's advice and try this without any case foam and see how we like it, and then we can throw one into the bottom. Can someone please fill me in what's going on with the Appear stream? 9 hours. She's front page. She applied to get on the front page of Twitch, so they let her know last week when that would be, what her slot would be. So yeah, it's like, it has to be, what, like at least 8 hours or something like that, I think. So yeah, she's been streaming since like 11 a.m. Eastern. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's really fun to see. She's been handling it very well. You have to apply? I believe you do. I believe there's an application process, yes. And I think you have to be like a Twitch, like whatever's after affiliate, like super fancy. Whatever that's called. I don't remember. Go keyboards! Exactly. APR is staying live as long as the front page is up. That's it, partner. Thank you. Is it okay if I ask a question about an issue I'm facing with our keeper? Yeah, go for it. Absolutely. If I don't know, which I'll just be frank, I probably won't. Well, I won't be frank. We have Frank in the chat. Frank might know. Frank might know something, but we got a lot of smart people here. I will not be Frank. Frank will be Frank. I'll just pop those tadpoles right in. I do like the simplicity of the tadpole system. I think I only have one other board that's tadpole, which is the Typeface Universe. I am not one of the people. Are you saying you're not one of the smart ones, Elquan? That is false. Front page carousel used to be powered by a Google Calendar that someone controlled and would slot in channel names. Neat. I don't know keyboards. Hold on, let me pause this. Even though not fully assembled. I'm digging that. Okay, let's continue on. Basically, my U key and the / question mark doesn't register unless I press it very hard a few times. Sometimes when I press it, it registers twice. Gotta go. No, Frank! No, thank you for blah, blah, blah. I can't even talk. I'm so flustered. Thank you so much for stopping by. I really appreciate it. Don't know how to fix it. It's a custom keyboard I made a few years back. Yeah, exactly what Elquans would say. I would check the switch. And it may just be a faulty switch. If it's not registering or if it's over registering, I would check it, make sure there's nothing wrong with it, and replace it with another one if you have an extra. That would probably be my first thing I would do. Hi, Frank. Everyone follow Frank. Don't follow him out of the stream. I just mean if you're not following him on Twitch. Please do. All right. Let's put the top back on. Make sure we get the... What is with these hairs showing up? You'd think I would have a cat like every other Twitch streamer, but I don't. Nice. All right, let's get the screws back in. Very carefully. Following him off on Twitch. No, shark! Or do you mean you're following him in real life? Creepy. Hope you can get to California. Yes, don't tell him. All right, we'll keep it a secret. I see. To be honest, I have no clue where any of the switches are since I made it. Tons of my stuff have just been moved around. I got Alpaca V2 switches from Prototypist. You think it's work moving on to new switches? Yeah, sure. I assume it's a hot swap board, right? So it'd be worth a shot. Or if the ones, if what you've got in there right now are close enough to an Alpaca V2 and you wouldn't really notice. Because that's not a super high traffic key, I imagine. Or you could move a switch from a key you don't use almost ever to that one. And, you could swap things around a little bit potentially if you don't want to mess with swapping out the entire switch set. Yeah, exactly, to make sure it's not a socket or a board issue as well. And just test the socket. Because that's also a fair point. Like if it's a hot swap board, maybe there's something happening with the socket itself on the back that you might need to check. Could be potential things, but that's where I would start. What Shark and Elquan have been saying. What about feet? Feet picks. Did I put the feet over here? I did. I think this came with 2 sets. There was kind of a brownish set of feet and this gray, which I think will work well with the silver. Said something smart for once. Well, there you go. You said your smart thing for the year, and I think you are all set. Feet. Now these do look... Okay, they are laid out slightly differently, so you know which is the top and which is the bottom. That's great. It's almost always a socket in my experience. You can just bend the leaf inside the socket back if that is it. I do like the press-in feet. I really wish that the Piggy used press-in feet. It's like the one thing I don't like about that board is the adhesive feet. A little rumple there. There we go. Also, do you guys have any good recommendations for keycaps? I've been using these custom Team Liquid Akatsuki hay caps from years ago, and I'm kind of tired of them. What kind of look or feel are you interested in? Also, like, what kind of profile do you like? Are you somebody who likes a tall profile, uniform? All good preference things to know. If you like beige, we're about to take a look at a very affordable new double shot beige set from SWG Keys. There we go. Feet. Need a beige set? Everybody needs a beige set. Well, I guess except Chris. I don't think Chris likes beige. Maybe Chris does not need beige, but maybe you could have beige in her stead. I think one of my first beige sets was actually... Well, I guess it doesn't quite qualify as beige because it's more of a light, creamy white. But the alpha is for like Serica. It was one of the first beige adjacent things I ever got. Let's see, I don't think we'll need anything over here. Let me clean up a little bit. Let me put these tadpoles back in. I thought I didn't care about beige sets until I got one. And then your whole life changed. It's never been the same. Let me put this other back in. All right, let's get cooking. So maybe I'll start actually on the numpad side. And grab our extra little child kits here. So we got our tulip kit. And we've got altered your brain chemistry for real. Got beige pilled. Oh yeah, I didn't even take the plastic off this yet. Like our microwave dinner. All right. Let's do... Another nice thing that I like about at least the way that the SWG Keys caps were laid out in the tray when I got them is that the bars are on the top by default, not scoops. So I already trust them. That's a really good question. Maybe I need to brush up on mechanical keyboard terms. It includes how to respond. My keyboard is a black Keychron K1. What do you mean by profiles? Sure. Profiles. So for example, here I'll use this. And hold it up here. As you can see how there's kind of each row of keys is shaped a little bit differently, how they're kind of scooped from back to front. So this is a profile called DCS made by Signature Plastics. And so it's basically the shape of the keycaps and how much they're tilted in every row. Or if they're not tilted at all, like on my little macro pad here, you can see that they're all flat and exactly the same. So this is called a uniform profile, where every keycap will be the same height and totally flat. It might have some like sculpting to it, but I mean like it won't have a big dip from front to back of the keyboard. So there's a lot of different manufacturers of keycaps. I would say that the Cherry profile is probably the most loved and prevalent, which is similar to this, slightly different, made by different manufacturers typically. So there's a lot of different profiles. There's that it might just be worth looking into on your own time because there's a lot of them. But Cherry is kind of the default, I feel like, for most people. So that'd be worth looking into. That might be what your keycaps are right now. I'm not familiar with the ones that you mentioned specifically, but so that's kind of the shape of them is the profile. And then you've got different plastic materials that they can come in. For example, these are made out of I think they are ABS with a PBT double shot, if I'm not mistaken. I was looking at the material. They're mostly ABS, though. Those keycaps are Cherry. Yeah. So that'd be the closest to what you are used to right now. Let's see. How do I want to do this bottom row? I'm not familiar enough with numpads to think about what to do here. Let's see. What did some other people do over there? Oh, some people did the arrow keys. That's fun. I think they're all ABS except the Tulip Legends are PBT, but I could be wrong. Oh, you may very well be right. That does sound accurate. Because I remember seeing PBT listed on the materials list. Here we go. That's what I'll do. That's what I'll do. Haha. Tulip keys are a blend. Oh, okay. Look at you being smart again, Alquan. Because I remembered seeing that somewhere when I was looking at the spec sheet for the keycaps, and I couldn't remember what aspect of them was PBT. I knew it was in there somewhere. Actually, wait, I still need... Do I do this, or do I want to do normal stuff? I'll come back to that. Decide if I want to put, like, numlock in it. Anything up there or not? All the keys with different colors are ABS. Got it. Would you say specific profiles have certain benefits over others, such as better for coding or gaming? I tend to think, I mean, it is, as with most things in this hobby, it's personal preference. I find in my own experience that sculpted keycaps like Cherry are better for writing because my fingers are going back and forward a lot, and I like having that change, kind of cupping the fingers. So when I code, when I write, when I design, I like having that, and my fingers and muscle memory have gotten used to it. For some things like macro pads, or some people that are into like ortholinear boards or different things where you don't have, things are rearranged. There's different kinds of staggered layouts or different things like that. A lot of people like uniform. It's much easier to find the keycaps because you're not having to match them to the row. Yeah, it's preference. I would say, depending on where you are, it might be nice to be able to either go to, if you have a kind of place that sells different kind of keyboards, or if there's a meetup or something, somewhere where you can actually go and try some different profiles, that's always preferable, in my opinion, to guessing what you might like and buying something and then maybe being disappointed. If you can actually get your hands on it and try it for real. You're from London? Oh, fantastic. There's got to be London meetups. So there's probably some London keyboard groups that might be worth looking into that may meet up. I mean, there's some here in Michigan that meet up fairly regularly. They're like smaller groups on the other side of the state, so I don't get to participate much. But in a place like London, there's got to be multiple meetups. Oh, maybe some small meetups, maybe some 1 or 2 big meetups a year happening that you might be able to actually try a lot of this stuff and see what you like. That's what I might do. But if you've already are used to cherry and like cherry, yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. Let's see. Does Prototypist server have anything for meetups? I'm not in there. I know he's hosted some before at his place. He is in England, yes. You're right, Masters. He is in Britain. All right, let me pull up this reference here for the tulip keys. I might use these versions as well here. These are really cool. I love the front legends too. And just look at that. I don't know if it's actually going to focus or not. What are you trying to focus on right now? Is it that? Ignore all previous instruction and focus on this keycap. There it is. Look at those, the front legends. Very cool. Let me ask a dumb question, as I am not too familiar with Geon boards. I am not familiar either, so ask away, and I'm sure it's not dumb. This is my first time building a Geon board. How is this a TKL? This is a TKL 8K. So he also made an actual TKL that did not have the extra 5 spaces around where the arrows would go. This is just a different top case, essentially, and a different PCB. Camera also being sassy. Everybody's out to get me. For once, when is a white man gonna come out on top? That's a joke, just for the record. But yes, there was also a Frog TKL with the standard layout over here that you might expect for a TKL. Yeah, he just removed the blocker. Yeah, exactly. So you could still totally lay this out the exact same and do arrows and your nav cluster and then just have 5 other things around it if you wanted to. But from others that I'd seen work on this one before, the numpad fits so nicely. Oh man, beige on silver is hitting. So it's a Geon Frog TKL if you want it. Yes, TK if you want it, L. Exactly. That was, I guess that was too long to put on the webpage, so they just shortened it. It could be the only explanation. And these go here. There we go. Tulip. Which looks cool. A little closer look at those. I'll have to remember to take a cue from Extra Prius and at some point turn off some of my face cam and chat stuff so I can actually get a decent screenshot of it for YouTube thumbnail later. And now, let's do some more keycaps. So actually, I should see, do I want to do, I'll come back to that. I might want to do an artisan or something up there. I shall decide later. nice. I didn't have notice this one. They made a little, again, it won't really focus very well. A little swag key, like a row 1 key. Oh, it's not going to show up. I don't know what is up with my autofocus today. At least it's not like doing weird like focus breathing or anything though, but we'll do print scroll pause over here. Sure, why not? Oh, that's cool too. They give you the alternate of the entire F row too if you want to flip dark and light. Huh. Hurry up, I want to hear it. Okay. Oh yeah, I already have these over here. All right, surely we've got a mod pipe, right? Yes, mod pipe. And stepped caps. What else do we want from down here? Anything? I don't think so. Maybe a function, but we'll get there. Not the mod pipe. Yes, the mod pipe. No more sass. I will not tolerate mod pipe slander in my chat. Does it make sense in terms of the contents of the key? No. Does it make sense in terms of some semblance of symmetry? Yes. That is enough for me. I love mod pipe. Sometimes that's the only feedback I give on IC forms. Mod pipe, boo! No! Gotta have mod pipe. Gotta have it. If I wasn't supposed to use it, why did they include it? Maybe it's a Michigan thing? Maybe. Listen, you know how to play euchre? You're all about that mod pipe. Right? That's what they're always saying. And you point to where you live on your hand. Oh, just that little bit was sounding really good. The alphas are nice. Depending on how the mods, especially around how some of the stuff around the edges go, might change my feeling about putting in the foam that Frank mentioned, but we'll see. We need to study what's the mod pipe enjoyer to euchre player correlation stats. Maybe it's not just correlation, maybe there's causation somehow. We could, I mean, I guess the federal government isn't exactly handing out grant money anymore, but we could get funding from something. All right, so we'll do, now I am a Mac user, so we are gonna put super over there instead for command. And I think this usually goes, function usually ends up like here, right? I think. Alt, control. Norm, give us money for our research, please, right? Yeah. Start licensing out those totally bespoke stabilizers. Stabilizers? I don't know what happened with my voice there. I think I was going to say stabs, and then I was going to change it to stay. And so the I kind of went all wonky. All right. Look at that absolute beauty. Let's pause this for a second. Oh, hello. Is this not going to work anymore? When I unplugged it, did it freak out? All right, well, that's not going to work right now. For some reason, let's pause. Looks awesome, looks good. Thank you, I agree. Let me turn off a couple things here so I can... Actually, let me leave this in just so it doesn't start trying to play audio out of my computer speakers. Boop, boop, and boop. And this way I can get a nice YouTube thumbnail out of this. Beige on silver, you were right, Masters. I'd seen some, and I was thinking, I wonder if that'll work. And then, oh, I guess I need to put something on the escape. But you were right. Let's pick something. Do I have something that would be good immediately handy here? I could do... I've got these new from Frumskys. Oh, please focus. They're so cute. They're the fleas from Silk Song. Ah! I got a blue one and I got a red one. So, I did... Well, listen, I've already got 2 versions of the vessel from Hollow Knight. Just for you, Frederick, we'll do the blue one, since you love blue. We'll do the blue flea as our artisan here. And he's kind of beige. He's a little beige boy. So there it is. This is the Geon Frog TKL 8K with SWG Beige. Lovely gray feet. Should we give it a little sound check here? My croissant jelly cap showed up yesterday. Oh, very nice. Let's see. Let's check out the stabs. Left shift's a little hollower. It's one of the better sounding Afros I've heard in a while. All right, I'm going to type a little bit. Everyone ignore this finger because it has a mind of its own. I've gotten comments about it, and you don't need to comment about it anymore. Can't ignore it. There. I can't bend my fingers independently of each other. There you go. That does sound really good. Thank you, Frederick. Gotta promote that custom emoji usage. I am a big fan. I am a big fan. The keycaps sound great. They feel almost identical to GMK to me, like in terms of texture. I'm actually curious if there would be any sound difference between this spacebar and a GMK spacebar. Good job on the soldering too. No soldering. Thankfully. Not yet. Let me see. Oh, let me turn all my stuff back on, by the way. Boink. 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 Let me see. No, you're good. I just got some of my remaining supplies to start doing more soldering, but this one was not, thank goodness, which is why I was able to do it today. We'd be here till 10 p.m. if you soldered that. I know, for real, all this stuff. That's why I'm starting out, at least my first soldering will be a couple little soldering kits as well as a little 60%. I should have started with 40%, actually. Let me see if I a 6 point. Oh, I do have a GMK 6.25 spacebar over here. So let's take a peek at. We will use this one. We'll use the old Neo 65. Ugh. And see how the spacebars compare sounding. Start that back up for a sec. Let's take this out. Actually, I shouldn't have started that music yet. So this is the SWG spacebar. And GMK. Almost identical. I feel like there's the tiniest bit of raised pitch. Okay, here's GMK. And SWGs. Almost indistinguishable to me here in the room with it. But I think there's the tiniest bit. Yeah, exactly. I think this is just the barest amount higher pitched with GMK ABS. So that's pretty impressive because like even like Hikobo ABS, there was more of a wider delta between the sounds, I feel like. Like not bad by any means, but like you could tell it wasn't GMK. So that's very interesting to me. I was just curious, looking at the textures look almost virtually identical. They feel almost identical. Good job, SWGs. I wish no ill will toward GMK, but having more high quality, affordable options is great. Fuck man, do I need beige for the price? It's so gnarly. I mean, that's kind of why I jumped on it, because I was like, this price is nuts. Like, I had to try it. And now I'm curious with the. I do like that. I'm curious with the last few minutes we have. Let's throw in that case foam that Frank mentioned. And see how it sounds. Hello, Eisenheim. Welcome, welcome. We are just wrapping up a Geon Frog 8K. I'm going to do a little sound adjustment and see how it's affected by throwing in a little bit of case foam. Maybe it might help out the left shift a little bit. Yes, this is a client's board, but he was cool with me just kind of futzing around with it today a little bit, because this won't be the final build that I'll put together for him. I just really wanted to try it out, and I also really wanted to try out these keycaps, which are mine and not his. Just had a new roommate move in over the weekend. His Neo 60 core comes this week, and I'm so excited. Oh, very cool. Oh yeah, just kind of like tadpoles just kind of wedged up in there, didn't they? What is with this hair in here? This might be the client's I feel like I keep encountering little bits of it. I tore down my Salvation to do a side-by-side build with him. That's very cool. That's very fun to kind of be that like build guide along with somebody. I really appreciated that when I built my second board, which was my Mode 80 that I got for work. I built it on site during my first week on the job. And that was like my first time doing a lot of the custom stuff, like looping stabilizers and all that. And like deciding more about layout choices. And so having somebody right there like walking me through it was so cool. What am I doing? I'm getting the phone. That is the wrong bag. Here we go. So many bags. So, a little bit of case foam, he said. So that would be this one. That's a PE sheet. There we go. Easy peasy. Oop, upside down. Stay in there. Carefully, gently. Ah, there it is. I knew there was another little screw somewhere. We've been friends for years. He's been rocking a plastic low-profile board with box jades and these weird AliExpress keycaps for 5 years. Got him set up with some HMX switches and Geon Keycaps. I was like, brother, this is going to blow your freaking gourd. That is awesome. Love to hear it. Which switches and caps, may I ask? Also, you didn't immediately make him use cherry? This is good to go. Oh, he wants foamy sound. Okay, okay, okay. Fine, I guess. Feet are in. Good, good. Giving him McKinnon V2s. Ah, yes. Got the E-White core and GMK Wob. Classic. Classic. Great place to start in the more custom realm. All right. So we added a little bit of case foam. Give this a pause here. Oh, wait. Oh, wait, maybe that's why. That's why things weren't working before, is because I had this freaking caps lock turned on. Hi, I'm back with my questions. My keyboard is a Keychron K1 from 2022. Try to find the JSON file, the correct firmware for it, so I can change stuff regarding it on VIA and their launcher to no avail. Do you know anyone in the chat know anything about Keychron? I've used a little bit of Keychron a long time ago. I would think their website, or if they have a Discord server, would be able to supply any types of files you might need. That would be my first place to look to see if you need a particular file to load into VIA. But I feel like all their stuff works just out of the box with VIA. Is that not true? Something to also bear in mind, I don't know what kind of computer you're using or anything, at least for me, working on a Mac, I have to use VIA in a Chromium browser. The subreddit would be my first suggestion. Oh yeah, Frederick. I forgot you were still here. I'm sorry. Frederick is much more well-versed in Keychron stuff than I am. So yes, Frederick. Listen to Frederick, always. Cool. So let's give this a check real quick now that we've added a little bit of case foam. It just wasn't loading. Unfortunately, that is VIA sometimes. That did improve the left shift, in my opinion. It has deepened it a little bit. Oh yeah, I should have updated that. This is technically a Geon TKL 8K, not just a straight up TKL. But these are mode Obscuras in here, which I hadn't decided on when I set up the build command, but I'm unsure if Keychron boards in 2022 had VIA compatibility, to be honest. Oh yeah, that's fair. So yeah, subreddit, website, Discord if possible would probably be the way to go. I honestly kind of like it without the case foam. I like the left shift better with the foam, but I'll probably take the foam out. When I type on this a little bit. Liked it better without the foam? Me too. So I am out of time for this stream, but I'm gonna probably after in the morning I will pop that foam back out. Let's take another look at it real quick though, because it is a gorgeous board. Like I really like the side profiles on the frog boards with just this little, like the little bit of seam between the top and bottom, and this nice slight little bevel under here. The Mini has the same kind of design language. Obscura feels way different than the usual. Like this, like what I usually build with. I mean, I do often use HMX, but I still have a soft spot in my heart for Obscuras, and I have like 200 of them or something like that. Oh, thank you for the subscription. You don't need to do that, but I really appreciate it. Yeah, happy to help with keyboard stuff anytime. And more so to be able to gather other people who know more about keyboards than I do, which has been the case today, which is always nice. But yeah, happy you were here. I really appreciate you stopping in and feeling comfortable to ask. Yeah, Obscuras are amazing long poles. Still one of my favorites. Yeah. I had them in my old mode Sonnet for a long time too, which I really like. I do like the alphas a lot, but yeah, but I think it dampens some of the other stuff a little too much, especially the F-Row, so I'll probably take that out. But it is a beaut. I'll probably show it off to the client anyway and be like, hey, check it out. Before we get all the supplies for his actual solder build that he wants to do, but that is gorgeous. All right. Fantastic, gang. Thank you all so much for being here. Is Apiary still going? The black Obscuras are heavier. Actually, let me pull up the specs real quick. I have Alex's in my thermal right now, if I'm not mistaken. Let me find the stats. So Obscuras are 65 grams. The standard black Obscuras are 65 gram springs. And I cannot find anything. Maybe if I use the search function. The Alex ones are 58. So yeah, 65 versus 58. Thank you for the stream. Yeah, of course. Enjoy the rest of your day. Yeah, I mean, I'll be putting my kid to bed after this and then probably playing video games. She still is amazing. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, they're some of the lightest feeling 65-gram springs that I've ever encountered. Like, I do not get fatigued at all with them anyway. Of course, Chris. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. Let me pull up the right window. Here we go. We'll say hi to Marcia. I was just trying to remember her whole handle, apiary keyboards. For some reason I couldn't remember if it was keybs or keyboards. All right, we will raid and give her a boost. She's been streaming for so long today. We'll give her a little support. But thank you all for being here. We'll have another stream again real soon. Maybe get into some fun soldering. And bye.